Good morning. Wow, that sun is stunning. We're back. I'll give you a little update on what's going on. The chickens are fully chickening. Look at them. Scratching, attacking, being the miniature dinosaurs that they are. Look at all of these beautiful flowers on my sweet potatoes. Just gorgeous. Oh, we got a little bee. Oh, wow. So that's fantastic. Today, I think I'm gonna mess around with the water pump to try and get water from the rain barrel into the garden beds. I also have to build a compost sifter, and I'll show you why. So, if you have a keen eye, you'll notice that my compost bin is on the ground. I tried to turn it yesterday and it just got too much momentum and it tipped over, and it's very heavy and I don't think I can lift it up. So yeah, so here we are, and this thing, it's not going anywhere because I can't brace this on the ground enough to move it. So I think what I'm going to do is build a sifter, sift the compost into the wagon, store all the big bits that don't make it through the sifter in like a Lowe's bucket, and then stand this thing back up, put the big bits back in it, and then take the compost and store that, the compost that's ready to be used. That's the plan because I am an idiot. So it at? Oh, there it is. Helicopter. Some snips for the hardware mesh. And then I guess it's just a hammer and some nails to get the hardware mesh onto the wood. Or, no, that won't work. Maybe some zip ties. Maybe a little zip tie moment, because that'd be so much easier. I'll get a hammer. Yep. Okay, we have nails too. Sorry. The weather's just been so cattywampus that I've taken the cushions off the outdoor furniture and just have them stored in here. So I have zip ties, a hammer, and some nails. I'm just gonna use some scrap wood. Probably need my jigsaw. I also have a jigsaw, so I can make very similar to the little food and water rack I made for the chicks. I'm gonna make the same kind of thing, just bigger, to serve as my compost filter. And I've needed to make this anyway. I've just been putting it off, so, you know, whatever. So we'll get started. Just had to go behind the shed to snip some hardware mesh that we'll be using as the filter. Now we just have to figure out what we're gonna use to make the stand out of. That's gonna require a very minimal amount of cutting. You know, my husband's gonna kill me for, I always say he's gonna, I don't think he's gonna kill me. He's actually a very sweet and understanding guy. I just like to project my own worries onto him. You know what I mean? We have fun. So, oh, these are not the same size. Excelente. Cool. Okay, that looks like a box to me. I wish I could just use some of the pallet wood for this, but I am afraid it's not going to really do the trick. Okay, we're back. The baby needed to eat and my phone overheated, so I had to take a little break. But this is just a really quick, minimal effort filter for my compost. I'll tell you how I did it. I used hardware mesh and if you use hardware mesh, please wear gloves. Don't be like me. You know what I mean? I'm not a professional. I had some extra 2x4s from the coop build that weren't the exact same length. Like you can see there's a little weirdness going on here, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I'm not going to be making a bunch of cuts because I don't care. So what I did was just use some deck screws and secured kind of the frame of the filter or the sifter. And then I took some extra drywall screws that we had because they have that nice big head on them. And I used that to secure the hardware mesh to the 2x4s, and then I had some overhang, so you probably saw me folding it up because I could cut it, but it takes a million years, and like I've got way more hardware mesh than I need, so I didn't really feel like bothering to cut it. So that's one. I missed. Two. Well, three. You know, it's all about how many bonks does it take you to get your nail through, and it's like golf, the less bonks the better. But I want to take a minute to talk about one of my dear friends. I know I do a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. I got a baby at home. I'm by myself because my husband has to leave, you know, every so often. I got to reset a garden. I got to take care of a dog. I got chickens I worry about. You know, I got a lot going on, but I managed to get it all done. And you might be wondering what my secret is. When I'm feeling a little lazy, I pop in the old upper decky. You know what I mean? Let's all just take a minute to put in an upper decky and chat real fast. You might be asking, what the heck is this? What kind of nicotine is that? Well, it's just a regular nicotine pouch, but the case is what's unique. This case is called a SynBin, and right now I'm a stay-at-home mom, but I wasn't always a stay-at-home mom. I used to be an infantryman, okay? I was on the line in the shit of JRTC and, you know, the training areas of Fort Bragg, and I would get rainy and swampy and gross, and I wish I would have had one of these when I was back in the cut, because sometimes I would do a water crossing with my house on my back, and I've put my nicotine in my pocket because that's like the first thing I'm reaching for when it gets ugly. And sometimes you come out of the swamp with a little wet nicotine. My one regret is that I didn't have one of these, but I have one now. I can't speak any more highly of it. The website where you can buy these, I'll put it in the description. It's called a SynBin. Like I said, this is made, this is a veteran-owned business. It's a small business. Dude makes these to order. He's a great guy. I served with him myself, and I can't speak any more highly of this product. And he's not sponsoring me or nothing like that. I purchased this fair and square, but he's a buddy of mine. And if you use nicotine and you're outdoorsy like I am, get this, protect your pouches, you know what I mean? Because in this economy, we can't be wasting nic. You know what I haven't thought about is like if I could tip it on its side and then lift it up. Oh yeah, that might work. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Oh my god. Why didn't I try this yesterday? We're still gonna sift this. It's very slimy because we've just had like a ridiculous amount of rain. Another genius idea. And I'm not wearing garden gloves just because, like I said, this stuff's a little wet. A little bit wet. Part of the reason I want to sift it is to be able to dry some of this crap out. going all the way through it today. My glove ripped, so I will not be continuing to deal with that compost. I think maybe I sifted like a third of it, and then the rest will just have to get dried out, and then I'll come back out when it's dry and sift it with regular garden gloves, because this ain't it, chief. I don't know what I'm doing sometimes, you know? Like, what the fuck? Time to see if we can get this water pump situation set up. So what I'm gonna do is actually work backwards. So I'm starting at the end points for my soaker hoses, and then I'm just gonna work, yeah, like I said, work backwards to the point of origin. And I got a bunch of extra hoses and stuff, so hopefully I don't have to mess around with taking my garden hose that's hooked up to the house off and messing around with that. Okay, so this is a 50-foot hose. This one, my vision is that it goes to the chicken waterer. So I'm gonna set that up right now. The male to female end stuff is what's complicating this, so I literally just shoved the hose inside the bucket. Whatever. I need to put a hose here. That fits. Thank the dear Lord. Have mercy. Okay. Cute. Nope, nope, nope. First, we gotta go to the pump. So that's the pump right there. Not sure what that is. Just give me the freaking Cliff Notes. Yeah, don't care. Okay, this very quickly became a multi-day project, but that's okay because we're gonna get it all in one video. But basically I just ran into an issue, like the way everything was set up. I ended up with like male to male and like female to female connections. So I need to get a half-inch male to fit on this standard garden hose 3/4 inch female fitting. And then we have another case of it over here with this. So this is no big deal. It's just a normal 3/4 to 3/4, so that's easy. And then over down there by the chicken waterer, we'll need another coupling. But basically we have rain barrel and its associated hose, and it comes all the way over here to this outdoor outlet where the water pump is plugged in. everything's good there. Before we switch that on, I'm gonna prime it. And then I also ordered a timer for that too, so while we're gone, we're not like wasting a bunch of water. And then over here it splits off, and one end goes to the garden beds with the drip system, and we were able to get the soaker hose all the way over to the grapes too, so that's really good. And then the other end goes all the way across the yard and into the chicken waterer, so I'm pretty smoked. I hate dealing with plumbing. Like, even when I did the plumbing in my camper van, it was just such a nightmare because like every company you buy fittings from determines their size a different way. Like, some brands will determine the size from the inside of the fitting, and some brands will determine it from the outside of the fitting. And then you have these two things that are supposed to be different sizes, but you put them together and it's just like clink clink, like perfectly fucking the same size. It's so frustrating, but such is life. We'll cut the video off here, and then we will pick up when I have those couplings in. Wish me luck. Welcome back. I was drying out my wagon because it rained yesterday, so just don't mind this. We're just gonna ignore this. But as you can hear, some of the neighborhood dads are mowing today, and you know what, I felt inspired, and I'm not gonna get shown up by these dads in this neighborhood who think they're better than me. So I'm gonna pick this stuff up, break all this down, just throw it all in the middle of the garden so I can mow the edges, and we can start getting ready for the sheet mulching. That was fun. I had to take the little chicken enclosure completely apart so that I could mow, and then put it all back together. So fun. If my hair looks shorter, it's because it is. I did a DIY haircut at home, so I don't have time to go into a salon and sitting there for 25 minutes to get charged $100 for a trim, so I figured out how to do it myself. I guess I should mow the rest of the lawn since I have the mower out. Maybe do the front so that I don't get a freaking nasty gram for the benevolent leaders at the HOA. But anyway, still waiting on those fittings to come in for the hose system, so as soon as I get those, I will fire the old camera back up and we'll finish setting that up, hopefully. Every time I get an Amazon box, it's just going to come out here. I'm going to extend it all the way to the fence, and then hopefully like all the way to the apple trees. I think would be really cool. And then once we kill all the grass off and stuff, we'll start putting like a little bit of soil and straw and all that good stuff on there too, so that'll kind of be baking like all winter, and then hopefully next spring it's going to be bussin'. But this is ready for fall, so, well, it's getting there, but we might still plant some stuff in here. I haven't decided yet. We'll see. Anyways, yeah, so I guess I'll see you guys when I get plumbing fittings. Well, we finally did it. We finally got all of the fittings and stuff right. I went around and just put them all down so that I knew that it was all going to work before I bothered filming. So the first one we have is to connect this hose to the rain barrel, so we'll do that. Now at the hose portion, I'll just wrap this too. This is pretty challenging to wrap just because it's actual motor of the pump's in the way. You are supposed to prime this. So I think what I'll do, see if I can like pour some water into it. See if I can just like get it as full as possible. And then there's this timer. but we're gonna worry about the timer when we get back. Next point is where the garden bed irrigation system connects to the whole thing. If anybody's watching this that like knows what they're doing with like, I don't know, landscape irrigation type stuff, or knows what they're doing with plumbing or really just anything, they're probably gonna be cracking up because they see me making like so many silly mistakes and buying so many unnecessary fittings and just doing all of this nonsense. Oy, scary. Oh, I don't like this. I'm just gonna see if the pump works first before I mess around with this timer. Oh no. Oh no. See, this is what I'm talking about when I tell you, me and plumbing, we just don't freaking vibe. I had the other valves turned to off, so we'll turn them to on. All right, we will try it again. Okay, she's a little loud. We just got some kinkage, no big dill pickle. Now the soaker hose is soaking. I definitely want to cap the end of this here because she's just a-going. Okay, now we need to go check out what's going on at the chicken water. See if, one, that float valve's working, and two, if any water's even getting over here. Well, we got a leak, so it's just a small drip, but whoa. I don't understand this float valve. Am I stupid, y'all? Do I not know how a float valve works? Okay, the only other thing I can think of is mayhaps this whole shit is upside down. I am completely drenched because of that, but here's what's going on in here. So you can see the valve is at a 90 degree like this, so that's when it stops the flow of water. Sounds like a jet engine is about to take off over here. So we use quite a bit of water in a very short amount of time with that, but I'm not super concerned, and here's why. This system is not like an everyday use type of thing because I'm here and I'm going to do the chores that I need to do every day. That chicken water had to get filled up because I didn't have much water in there, so like the float valve wouldn't trigger the hose to keep pushing water into there unless it wasn't full, and you know, it takes a while for chickens to drink that much water. And the nice thing is that it's a full bucket, so even if the rain barrel were to run out while we were out of town, we'd know the chickens have a supply of water that's like pretty significant, even if it's not going to kick on again. I really set this system up because we're going to go out of town over the Christmas holiday, so I want everything to be sorted here, just in case we can't get anybody to come over and check on things. Probably won't have the soaker hose on for that trip because everything's going to be died back because it's winter. Like I said, the pump will really just be working for the chickens, and we can either fill the rain barrel up completely using like the garden hose before we leave town, or we can hook it straight up to the house if we're not like feeling super confident. So I think this system as like a contingency system is doing its job, so I'm really happy with the success there, and I'm just going to go ahead, and my eyes are so itchy, but yeah, we'll get the timer hooked up and see what that thing's all about. Ugh, you guys, these allergies are literally going to be my demise. Okay, so all we have to do, charge internal battery, leave me alone, press reset with the tip of a small, oh my god, you gotta be freaking kidding me. While pressing and holding the clock button, press the week button. So clock, hour. So we'll set it up to turn on at 4:18. We'll say 20, we'll say 4:20. Blaze up. Cool. So I guess we'll plug this in and we should be good. We'll see in 1 minute if it turns on. 30 seconds. Yeah, so you can set it to come on randomly. You can set it to come on multiple times a day. This thing's pretty sweet and it wasn't super expensive. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no. Son of a biscuit. Okay, 1 more minute to see if that's working. 15 seconds, 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes! Hell yeah! Okay, I am so happy with that. So we have a timer system that's going to keep our garden This is actually a surprisingly powerful pump. I did not know that it was going to get water through that soaker hose the way it did, but it did really well. And I'm sure when my husband gets back from his work trip, he is going to completely want to redo how I set up the soaker hoses. But you know what? That's fine. I'm working on the sheet mulch. I will continue to make progress with that. I am still fighting with my brassicas. I need to build potato boxes and get my potatoes planted and weed whack. Continue to teach the chickens how to use the chicken waterer. My point of advice here is if you're gonna get an automatic chicken waterer, get it with a lot of lead time before you actually need them to be using it, because some of our girls are not the brightest crayons in the light fixture. I'm also going to set up an automatic chicken feeder too. I'm just not using it right now because I'm using their fermented chicken feed. I'm not going to use fermented chicken feed when we go out of town, just because in the open chicken feeder like that, it'll be like really susceptible to mold and stuff. So, and I don't want it to get like clogged and then they can't eat and all this craziness. So they'll just get dry feed when we're out of town. But yeah, I might do a video on like fermented chicken feed. Let me know in the comments if you want to see something like that. But as always, thanks for joining me on this journey. This was a rough one, but it kind of ended on a high note. So I'll see you guys next time.